Hi and welcome. You found your way to class. This is a cute little album pattern that we're going to do today. And I'm going to first mute my laptop so I'm not hearing myself talk twice. And now I'm going to just find that video, and that way it helps me when I look up. I'll keep my hands in the camera. There it is. All right, lighting looks pretty good. We got this little shadow, but I don't think I can avoid that. All right, so I'm looking for my glue. I like to use this Fabrifix glue and then some two-sided tape. We'll use that. We'll need a trimmer and a scoreboard. And you'll have some white cardstock and this 6x12 piece of glitter. And then you'll have some ribbon, which for me just arrived today so I can do this class because I didn't have any nice yellow ribbon in my stash. So you will have 2 yards of this, and you'll need to cut it into 1-foot strips. You'll need 6 pieces, 6 1-foot pieces. All right, so let's go ahead and get the scoring done and the cutting done of that cover, and then we'll get into the folding and the pattern. So all these little pieces we're going to set aside. This, I will tell you, this is kind of a homework piece. We're not going to use these tags for much more, but I did cut out from these 2 down here in the bottom left, and in the second from the bottom row right, the images had butterflies, and I cut those out because we're going to put those on our cover also. All right, it's a little space, you know, 6x6, so we don't have room to put a lot. Otherwise, we could keep cutting out all these fun pieces. And you can do creative with them, and we might end up putting a couple tags. Who knows? Because we're not there yet. All right, so I'm going to set this off to the side because I've done my little cutting. So you might want to hit pause and get that cut. And I'm going to set these aside for right now. We don't need those. And we don't need this little pretty glitter yet. All right, so we need 2 pieces of our 8.5 by 11 and our chipboard. That's what we're going to work on first. So 2 pieces and our chipboard pieces. So I'm going to bring my trimmer down into camera here. And here's the trick. I did give these to you at 6. I'm going to cut 1/8 of an inch off. So you don't have to, but if on both sides you can just skim a little bit, I'll describe why that might be helpful. So just a little bit. Just a tad. All right, so there's my 2 pieces. Now, we're going to take our white paper and we're going to cut this to 7x7. I'm going to keep as much of the paper uncut as possible. So I'm going in along the 11 first to cut 7x7. Okay, I'm going to do the same exact thing with this one. Trim it to 7x7. Okay. And we're done with the trimmer for now. Save these scraps. We will certainly use those in a little bit. I'm going to get that off to the side for a minute. We'll bring in our scoreboard. Whoops, there went my bone folder. So for this, we're going to put our squares in, and we're just going to turn on all 4 sides and score each one of them at 1/2 inch. Okay, I've got one done. Get my next piece out. We'll do the same thing. All right, so we are currently done with our scoreboard, so we'll get it out of the way. Now you need a pair of scissors, and we're going to trim, which is called mitering the corner, cutting an angle at that intersection on all 4. So cutting at the angle is going to get rid of some bulk. When I was teaching a class, a student said, well, I was taught to do this. But that doesn't get rid of this bulk. So it's not bad, but I like better to get rid of more of the bulk of the paper. Okay, clean up my little work area. And I've still got the bone folder, which is good. So I'm gonna fold each one of these lines that we just scored into the paper, and then I'll give it a good crease, or what they call a burnish. And then while I'm doing this and thinking about it, if you have something like art glitter glue, I'm trying to think of the other name, Barely Art, that glue, kind of a white tacky. I use that when I glue down these half-inch flaps to chipboard. And the only reason I use it is it's got a quicker grab, a quicker dry time, which lets me move on to my project. So let me grab my art glitter glue. Okay. So now we're going to get our chipboard piece. And that score has taken away some of the girth of the paper. So that's why if you can just snip just a tad away from that 6x6, it'll fold over a little bit better. And if you don't, again, it's really not going to be that big of a deal because all this is going to be glued down where nobody will see it. So I'm just gluing, I just put in that chipboard into the center, and I'm gluing down these half-inch pieces of paper that we just created by scoring it. When a friend of mine years ago, like maybe 10, maybe 12, when she taught me what she had seen in some class at an event she was at, they just used the chipboard and glued it down and then painted all your edges. And I think that's fine. But this way you don't have to worry about finding paint on hand, letting it dry, letting that paint dry. So this is how I'm covering. All right, let's do the next one. I got a little tickle. I was just outside. I don't know when you're watching this, but right now it is well into spring. And last fall, we did not cut down a lot of our foliage. So we've got new growth coming in and old kind of sticking there. So I just was out there breaking off a lot of that old stuff because I don't want it to be in the way of new pretty, and I don't want it to draw any energy from what the new growth might need as it's popping up. So anyway, I think that might be why I've got a little tickle, because the older I've gotten, the more allergic I am to things. Or maybe I notice it. I didn't notice it when I was a young lad. All right, while I let these dry for a minute, I'm going to get my fingers a little clean and take a sip of my carbonated flavored water. And let's move on to the next step in this pattern. So what we're going to need now, I better put the pin in my art glitter glue. Okay, let's find our 12 by 12 sheets of paper, not our little cut aparts yet. Whoops, and I just dropped my 2 cut butterflies. Okay, here it is. So this will be what we use for our cover, and so is this. So we'll set those 2 pieces aside. aside. So find those two. Here's what the back of them look like, if that helps you find them. But we're gonna set these aside and we'll decorate in a little bit. So all of this can go together in whatever pile. And then I'm gonna count. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's use the green. I'll show you in just a minute. Maybe, here we go. Okay, so we're gonna set these aside. Find the purple and this, it's actually a darker of the two greens, and here's what your two back sides look like. So find those two pieces and set those aside, because we're gonna use that later on for what we tuck into our album. Okay, so set those aside. And so now what we have left, you've got your pineapple or words. You've got this gold with kind of a deep blue purple. And here's your backside, which is really pretty, like wildflowers. You've got this one that's got multicolor flowers with gold, and the backside is this. And this one is probably my favorite because I do love pansies. And then we've got another multicolor flower with gold, and the backside is this lighter green. So you can hit pause and go back and find them if you need to, and then come back and join me. I'm gonna get my trimmer in the camera. The first thing I'm going to do is just cut them to a nice 12-inch piece. We're going to get that little hole out of there. These came out of a large paper pad. So here's where my hole is. So you can see it. I'm going to put that in the cut mark and cut it at 12. I'm going to do that for all of them. After I do this class, I need to do my fingernails. They got lots of little snags on them. But I don't know if you've noticed, if you use Fabri-Fix or a glue like that, it's got acetone in it, so it will just take your nail polish right off if it gets on there. Okay, we're done with the trimmer again for a bit. Let's find our papers. So I want this one to be the one that shows. So we're going to fold it and make a T. So I'm going to fold up first. I'm just kind of eyeballing here to make sure that I'm meeting that corner. And now I'm meeting this corner. Once I feel like my corners are met, take my finger in the middle, press down to the middle, press to the left and to the right. So I have a shot at getting it pretty straight. Then there's nothing wrong with, if you've got a bone folder handy, giving it a good crease. I'm going to do the same exact thing, the opposite direction. So that's what's making that T or that cross. Same exact thing, come down the middle, side to side. Here's our T. So now the next thing is, this is top and bottom. So I'm going to fold this up again and then bring it back down to exactly half. So I'm coming down to the bottom. Making sure I'm meeting it straight there and straight here, just like that. Now what I can't do in class, because I can't say that everybody has the same border punch, but what I have done is taken a border punch along here, and then that'll show that teeny tiny bit of color there underneath, and that looks real pretty too. So if you have a border punch and you want to go ahead and punch that edge, feel free to do that. I didn't get it quite straight. I'm just trying to see if I can line it up and get that fold a little better. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is a very forgiving album. All right, there's one. This will be a page set. Let's do the same exact thing. So we got this guy. Fold it up. I'm not going to show the pineapples. Now, if you like any other side better, go for it. But when I create a kit, I'm going to neutralize as much as I can to not pin anybody in to a certain theme. Maybe you were just in Hawaii and you want pineapples, or you're going to give it to somebody who is just in Hawaii. Who knows? And the pineapples might be a perfect thing. Okay. So I didn't say what we did here, right? We went up, came back down. And it'll be the same for all of these pages that will be the book pages. So we're going to let the pretty flowers show through and not this beautiful gold, which is just almost against my nature. All right, we've got our cross or our T. So now I'm going to try if I come this direction for me, if I have a better, easier job of getting it lined up. I do think that worked better for me. So just find what's comfortable for you. All right, we've got 2 more to go. So I'm going to fold up. Fold, opposite direction. There we go. And then I'm going to flip it upside down because for me, it worked better to see and line up my bottom. All right, almost there. 1 more to go. This is one of those papers, it seems multi-directional to me, but on the back side, this feels like the top. So I'm going to treat, weird, because this feels like, I forgot which way we cut off the hole. So I like this side for my top. You pick what you like. So I'm gonna bring this back down, which for me works better if I flip her around. Can't tell you why. Okay, so now let's pick our order. So I love this one. I think I'm going to lead with this guy. And then this one. Give it a little bit of quiet. All right. And then I don't want the looker to think everything's going to be purple. So then I'm going to go with this green, and then I'll go with the florals again, and then the last one is the words. So I went with pansies, and then this peach color, and then the green, and then florals again, and then the words. So that's my order. So now I'm just going to set those off to the side in the order I think will be pretty. And if I mess it up in the middle, no big deal. So this is where you need your 2-sided tape. And I'm going to be using up a variety of widths. So I'm going to come in about 1/4 of an inch from my folded edge. And I'll give it a nice burnish, make sure it's all connecting well. I've got a little extra there, I'm just going to peel off. Okay, and then for the other 3 sides, I'm going to use my glue because I like that it will slide in to place when I put the other one, connect the 2 of them. I'm going to come in just a little bit because I know glue is going to smush, and then I'm going to give a little bit in the middle to avoid that bubble possibility. All right, so now I've got the back of this one, and I'm going to lay it to the front of this one. I'm just kind of eyeballing right here, the top corner and my bottom corner. So I'll kind of stand them up and make sure they're lining up pretty good. Kind of bulky. Here's page 1 and page 2. So we're going to do the same thing now with our next one here. So I just slid it down into order using my two-sided tape. And I'll show you why this is a good step in building this album. And we'll be able to see it when we put it all together. Just going to peel away that little extra. Oops. And then glue on the other 3 sides. Put some in the middle so there are no bubbles. And I'm just going to line it up again. That's what I love about this glue, is I can slide it into place and press down. Kind of stand it up and tap it in place. All right, let's do it again. Here's the next one I'm sliding over into the work area. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, and to the middle. Okay. And really, any order will look lovely. Okay, the last one. That doesn't take too long, does it? Sorry, when I pull it a little closer to me to get the glue or something, that it does temporarily go out of camera. When I adjust for the next video and we decorate everything, then I'll try to move it a little closer to me. It's kind of a sweet spot, with far enough away that we can get the whole trimmer and scoreboard in camera, and close enough that when I have to pull it toward me, you can still see everything. Okay, so as you can see, it's not perfectly lined up, but it'll still be a cute little mini album. And now that we've got it together, can you see why we went about 1/4 inch away? It gives this a little breathe room to stretch out. All right, so we've got our pages in. The next thing we're going to do is decorate our cover and our insert. So I'll come back with the next little video in just, well, it'll be instantaneous, right? Just look for video number 2, and I'll catch you soon. Easy peasy. Bye now.